Hi, everybody. It's Karen Erickson Lee again with Living by His Grace Ministries. And once again, I am here with the lovely Avery Harper. And so blessed to have her knowledge, her expertise, and for her to share what she does. And even though this is Front Royal, Virginia, there are um, there are Phoenix projects places all over. And so we want to inspire you, hopefully, if you are in need or know someone in need, to search that Phoenix Project type um, place out in your own community. I wanted to point out, kind of touching on what Avery was saying, that, domestic violence, addiction, sexual assault, all of these things, they don't discriminate. They don't discriminate against man, woman, boy, girl, socioeconomic status. You could be rich, you could be poor. And I was sharing with Avery that a lot of times I think people are reticent to get help because it's become their family's norm. And so they just think, well, this is just the way we function and I have to deal with it. Or they just feel so ashamed that's happening within their family. They're ashamed to reach out and get help. And we're hoping that we can encourage you to put that shame aside and, do what you need to do to help yourself and help your family, um, or reach out to someone who can help you and your family get to a place that's much safer and much happier place to be.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that Avery, then maybe you could share with us more specifically what you do for moms in crisis.
Yeah, definitely. So because again, we know it's a gendered crime, it disproportionately affects female survivors in our community. So say a mom is in a situation where it is not safe for her to be in that situation, and she's thinking, she's kind of in that pre-contemplation phase. She knows something's not quite right, but doesn't know what to do or where to go next. Reaching out to our agency would be a great first step. And basically what we would do is an initial intake process to try to understand a little bit more about what is going on in your situation, what is of most value to that woman, what are the different parts, and also what are the different supports that she might have. So does she have friends that she can rely on? Does she have family that are going to be pulled into part of this supportive safety plan of this community? Does she have a faith community that is safe for her, that would also support her in that way? So trying to figure out what the strengths are, and also what her goal is. Very often we're talking about a woman, but the woman has children, and so we very much need to make sure that the children are supported within that dynamic as well, and that mom has the supports that she needs in order to continue to be both the protector of those children as well as their primary. Exactly. So what does that dynamic look like? What are those different pieces? How is the abuse dynamics going to play out if she decides to take the children and go? Are those children going to be leveraged in some way, shape, or form to keep her further tethered, and how? And how can we work through those different systems and those different resources that are out there to help support her through this process? It is not a fast process, and it is not an easy process. And so a lot of care is taken to support mom. We also have a children's advocate here. Her name is Kristen. She's absolutely fantastic. She can provide ongoing parental support to mom, so that mom can know how to navigate some really hard conversations, because they're going to come up within that family dynamic. So how do we support mom in those conversations? And also, how do we support the children in understanding, very importantly, that what is happening in the family is not their fault, and it's not mom's fault either. So those are some of the more nuanced type of supportive counseling. And then we get into the nitty gritty of, is the court process going to be there? Are courts going to be involved? And if children are in that family, the courts are going to be involved. It's just what's going to happen. So how do we leverage those supportive resources for mom? What does mom's financial outlook look like? Can she support herself on her own? So often part of these power and control dynamics, they stay in place for so long because mom's not been able to get out there and support herself and her children. So what resources do we have available to help mom get to stability, especially financially? And then we also have other things too, like the faith community. Like, how do we keep her and her family engaged safely within that faith community? Are there ways in which that perpetrator of violence is going to find a way to twist the tenets of that faith community against her? And how do we bolster her and provide support for her within that community as well?
Just said so much, and I'm sorry, everybody out there who knows me knows I'm an emotional person. You've just said so many things that I wish I had heard when I was going through my own traumas and my kids. But wow, I hope someone out there really needs to hear this right now. So
I think it's important to remember that abuse ultimately at the end of the day is a choice. And again, it is never that survivor's fault. It just isn't. And we've got science and stuff that we can, share to back that for another day, another time. But yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'll have to take a moment and pull myself together, everybody, but we will be back again for another interview question with Avery. Wow, that was pretty amazing. All right. God bless everybody.